Hello students, you have listened to our earlier video lecture. The first story that we studied in last lecture was John Steinbeck's Chrysanthemums. As we had to study the short stories, the story needs to be understood in the way that we discussed in earlier few lectures, that we had to go through the biographical details of the author, the formative years, how his or her life has been. At the same time, we had to go through the formative influences the author has gone through. Then we must think about the way the author has started his earlier writing and in what way he progressed in the due course of time. What are the major landmark work of art that the author is known for? So, we have to go through these so called things. As we have studied John Steinbeck, and then we had to launch our attention to the other areas, just like the story, introduction to the story, then what are the characters that figures in the short story, then the plot. After understanding the plot, what happens in the story, then we have to launch our concentration, attention to analyzing the short story or the critical appreciation of the short story. And point by point, one after another, we have to go through the critical aspect or how the story is made of. The student must understand that to understand the story in detail, we have to go by line, and I expect you to go through the story line by line, which is available on the internet. You can go through, download the short story, and you will understand what does it mean for. See, the reading original will acquaint you directly with the author's writing. There is no one in between. So, in your case, in your understanding, you just go through the topic that we have. So, first of all, we had to get introduced to the Alice Walker and what C stands for. See, Alice Walker, her name is Alice Malsenior Talullahu Kate Walker. She was born on 9th February 1944 as an American novelist, poet, short story writer. She was born in Eatonton, Georgia, to the rural working farming town. Alice Walker attended her first school education, that is only school available for the blacks in the farming town. After say her education, she had at the age of in the age of 20s, she had a premature abortion, and this abortion has caused the bout of suicidal thoughts, which transcended her entire thought, and that is what these suicidal bouts inspired much of her poetry. Most of the poetry were related to this negative aspect rather, but it stands for the suicidal attempts. See, Alice Walker has a tremendous literary output to her credit. The novels and short stories that she has written in the very early age, even in her college or in her 20s, she has produced numerous poetry, and that poetry is called as Once, which appeared when she was taking her college education. The novels to her credit are The Third Life of Grange Copeland, which appeared in 1970. In Love and Trouble, Stories of Black Women, which appeared in 1973, which includes a very famous story that is also prescribed for us is Everyday Youths. The Love and Trouble, the stories of black women. So our present study is centered on everyday youths. It's taken from this book. The Color Purple is a very famous novel by Alice Walker, which appeared in 1982. The storybook, You Can't Keep a Good Woman Down. It's a story, it's in a feminist way or style that she presented the concerns of the women and especially black women in this book. To Hell with Dying. This is another book that she has written. The Temple of My Familiar, which appeared in 1989. She has also the credit of writing Finding the Green Stone, which appeared in late decade of 20th century. Possessing the Secret of Joy, The Complete Stories, which appeared in 1994. By the Light of My Father's Smile, which appeared in 1998. The Way Forward is With a Broken Heart. Now is the time to open your heart. So these books and novels are very remarkable contribution of Alice Walker. As I told you, the poetry, the first tender age poetry or college days poetry that she has written, and it appeared under the volume Once, which appeared in 1968. The Revolutionary Petunias and Other Poems, this is a subsequent poetry collection that she has presented. The Good Night, Willie Lee, I Will See You in the Morning, Houses Make a Landscape Look More Beautiful, 1985. Her Blue Body, Everything We Know, Earthling Poems. So this is another poetry collection that is very much centered on the women body, the physique, the body, and the attraction, and from the feminist point of view, how the voracious male patriarchy that we see around is depicted in this particular poetry collection. Absolute Trust in the Goodness of the Earth. This appeared in 2003. A Poem Travel Down My Arm, Poems and Drawings. This is also one of the poetry collection that we have. Collected Poems. This was another poetry collection that was published in 2005. Hard Times Require Furious Dancing. These are the new poems, and it was very latest published in 2010. And in the recent years, in 2018, Taking the Arrow Out of Heart is another book that she has her active literary career was related not just to the novels and poetry or short stories, but also to the non-fiction books. In Search of Our Mother's Gardens. This is non-fiction book that we see, Living by the Word, Where Your Marks. It's a prose type of writing that we have the same reword twice, honoring the difficult. Anything we love can be saved. The writer's activism. It appeared in 1997. Go Girl, The Black Woman's Book of Travel and Adventure. Pema Chodron and Alice Walker in conversation. This is the dialogue that we have seen. Sent by Earth, a message from Grandmother Spirit after bombing of the World Trade Center and Pentagon. This is another type of writing that we have in the form of correspondence. We are the ones we have been waiting for. Overcoming Speechlessness. Chicken Chronicles, a memoir that she has brought out of the experience of her lived life. The Cushion of the Road, this is also one of the books that we have seen. To her credit, to her artistic skills and literary output, she has been recognized and awarded and honored. So, McDowell Colony Fellowship, which she received in the very early age. In Graham Merrill Foundation Fellowship, she was awarded with Candace Award for Arts and Letters, Pulitzer Prize for Fiction that she received for a very famous book, The Color Purple, O. Henry Award for short story writing for her Kindred Spirits. She has received the honorary degree from California University, California Institute of Arts. American Humanist Association named her as the Humanist of the Year in 1997. To her literary output, Lillian Smith Award from National Endowment of Arts, Rosenthal Award from National Institute of Arts and Letters, induction into Georgia Writers Hall of Fame. This was another landmark achievement that her work of art received. Induction into Georgia Writers Hall of Fame, Domestic Human Rights Award for Global Exchange is another achievement to her credit. The Lennon won Grants for Peace. This is the awards that she has received over the years. So, with these so-called writings, we have seen the landmark contribution that this famous novelist Alice Walker has scored. So, I hope an introduction to Alice Walker you can get through this author, understanding the author, understanding her contribution, literary contribution is very well known. At the same time, Alice Walker's fame and contemporary living writer. So, as a student of English, we should be aware of what and who are writing in the contemporary world. So, Alice Walker is also one of the living writer that you will find, and her contribution is coming across in the literary world. So, with these words, definitely we must think about the literary output and as a background to our say users. Okay. In our next lecture, whatever we will go through the characters and we will go through what text plus in the short story that is prescribed for us everyday use. So, I hope you will go through this topic. You can take a screenshot of this slideshow or you can listen repeatedly to understand Alice Walker in the true sense of the term. Thank you.